Hi everybody, I see week 2 went pretty well in terms of getting videos done and posted. I'm looking forward to listening to those and giving you some feedback, but I thought I would get this post up and available to you to start week 3. You see, I'm in the course schedule right now. Tomorrow's week 3 schedule should be available here. I want to point out just a couple of things. Number one, I should have reorganized it, and the place to really start your reading or your viewing of this is down here. Before you discuss this week's topic, be sure to read the broad reflection. We have the AI technology, but is it ethical? And we're taking on, I should have started with this, AI, machine learning, and work. This is certainly one of the hottest areas in computational studies, but it's also one of the hottest areas in terms of the ethics of computational work that's being done. So really exciting week. We could probably design a whole course around a lot of these issues, and maybe you'll find ways to keep coming back to this. I think we already saw in week 2 that even as we moved on to what do we want from the internet, we were still talking a little bit about education and about some of the same kinds of utilitarian values of the internet that we were talking about in week 1. So each week as we go along, I hope you feel comfortable bringing in material from earlier in the semester, seeing the connections between these topics. But I'm a little off topic already, so let me get back to this article. We have the AI technology, but is it ethical? So great framing article for this unit. Does a really nice job, in particular, just framing the issue. Among the many recommendations, talking about a UK report, is that voluntary mechanisms should be established to inform consumers when AI is being used to make significant or sensitive decisions. So this is one of the issues, and that's sort of at the core of sort of test case number 1 that I'm suggesting you take a look at after you've had a look at the framing article. I've set up a set of readings around this issue of the Canadian government using AI technologies to screen asylum seekers. And what you're going to get here as you look at this is just sort of one take on that. And then hopefully by focusing on a particular issue, I think this is something that I'll try to get us all to do as we go forward, is that if we can, instead of thinking about really big issues like what is the internet, and you saw how I tried to break that down, more and more I'll try to give you really specific case studies to focus on and still give you that broad framework. We have the AI technology, but is it ethical? And then test it out on a specific issue like this one. Is it ethical to use AI to screen asylum seekers? And you'll see that the issue of is it ethical as well as is it legal gets raised in this particular issue. I tacked on a couple of more general pieces here. One in particular that I hope you check out. AI, Ain't I a Woman? Really powerful 3-minute video here. I'll just leave it at that and suggest that you come and give yourself time to take a look at that particular one. But it connects to this one in terms of AI's ability or inability to really recognize people from facial images, facial recognition software. So the core issue, again, is the government's use of AI, but not flawless, and Ain't I a Woman will help give you some background on that as well as the AI protesters. So let me recap a little bit here. So I'm asking everybody to look at, we have the AI technology, but is it ethical? Then I'm asking you, once you've got that larger framework, to focus on one of these case studies. It could be this one on the Canadian government, or it could be this one that's not about the AI technology so much as about what would happen if we really implement AI and machine learning to such an extent that we see unemployment rates skyrocket, right? And so one idea has been that, and this is relevant for Thunder Bay if you've been paying attention, there was a universal basic income experiment going on in Thunder Bay, not because of AI, just as a way to solve some poverty issues. It got canceled by the Ontario government. This article from the Globe and Mail also doesn't think that the universal basic income is the way to go. But this will help you think about consequences a little bit more than maybe some of our other weeks have looked at. Utilitarianism is sometimes a subset of an ethical approach called consequentialism. If you're interested in following up on that, I would recommend that. And so this case study would get you to think about not so much a thing that's happening in the moment like the first one, but it would get you to think about what's the long-term implications of AI. And are you, as computer professionals, is that something that you need to be thinking about? That's where you can go back to your professional ethics, and I think they would suggest that you should be thinking about that as you're developing AI and machine learning applications. It's part of your profession's responsibility, I think, and I think your guidelines say that you should be thinking about the long-term implications for maybe not even your field, but for just the average worker in Canada or in the world for that matter. So hopefully that makes sense as I reordered this thing again, starting here in the middle with the broadest picture. I didn't mention the MIT Moral Machine. My friend and colleague who I taught this class with at North Dakota State University, Ken Nygaard, used this Moral Machine in his version of this class in the fall, and students had a lot of fun doing something other than reading or watching videos. Here you actually got to judge if you were in charge of AI vehicles, who would you kill? A little bit of a dark scenario to look at, but I think you would have fun working through this. I did. I should have done it more carefully, so take your time doing it, really understand what they're asking you to do, watch their video, but you could also use this as a case study to focus your group discussion this week. So start here, consider one or both of these case scenarios, use the Moral Machine if you want to. Again, these are the general sort of big AI concerns that you might want to think about and apply to the framework, but I think the more and more we can focus in on a specific application, the more fruitful and the more realistic our discussions will be. Last thing, I added this one actually just last week. There's so much great material out here. There's a nice little 12-minute discussion of machine learning and big data in a new book, but this is an interview with the author called The New Dark Ages. So if you're, and I know some people were saying in their introductions that they do AI research and development, if you're really interested in this topic, lots of different resources available for you here this week. As always, you check in with me, send me emails. I hesitated there. I was going to say I've got office hours on Tuesday, but actually I had to move the office hours to Monday this week. I'm going to be off campus doing some filming for a different project on Tuesday afternoon. So if you do want to stop by the video office hours through Zoom, we're going to do that tomorrow, Monday at 2 o'clock. If you feel like your group is doing well and you know what you want to do with this one, just remember that you've got your three choices. You can continue to use Zoom. You can move to an asynchronous discussion on your discussion board. Actually, another option is you can get together in a room and record yourselves if that works for your group. If you want to get together face-to-face a little bit more, I've been seeing that people know each other. And then the fourth option is you could, if your group needs a little break, write one up yourself. But I wouldn't recommend it for this topic. I think you're going to love talking about it. I think you're going to want to talk to other people about this issue. So have fun with it. Let me know how I can help. Looking forward to seeing those discussions in about 7 or 8 days. Thanks and have a great week.